Welcome to the Digital Tea Room. Today, we will be making the Moonshine Express Ring, a white ceramic double ring liner. This is an advanced tutorial, so I'll assume you're comfortable with the fundamentals. Start by taking your medium superglue and applying it directly to the first of the inlay channels. Work it right to the edges using the nozzle tip or a toothpick. Pour in your light green glow powder into inlay channel. Work slowly, pack it in, and use a tool/cocktail stick, press down evenly across the full length of the channel. Now seal the powder in place with your thin superglue. Apply it from above and let the capillary action pull it down through the powder and lock everything together. Give the channel a short burst of activator spray to cure it instantly. Hold the can a few inches back. The odd bits that I missed on the first glow application, I redo by applying more glow powder and sealing it with thin superglue. I continue with this process until desired results have been achieved. Now take the ring to the lathe and sand it back to the inlay blank, removing any excess glow powder. Repeat the exact same process for the second channel. Medium glue first, glow powder in, sealed with thin glue, then finished with the activator. Consistency between the two channels is what makes the finished ring sing. Deep in the mountain valleys, illicit distilleries worked through the night. When the sun came up, their product found its way across the country. By train, by motorcar, and by any other means necessary. This ring is a tribute to that era, the Moonshine Express. Inlaid with light green glow powder, whiskey barrel wood, sterling silver, sea green opal, and flecks of gold leaf. Now we return from the main lathe, having removed any excess glow powder, to the inlay section and ring blank. I'll now be using superglue on a cocktail stick to carefully insert each piece. I wet the tip of the stick with superglue, pick up the piece I want to place, dip it again, and set it into position inside the ring. I fill the inlay one piece at a time, making sure that each fragment is above the inlay channel, and there's a reason for that. Placing each fragment individually gives you a level of precision that you simply cannot achieve by pouring or dumping material directly into the channel. You won't be able to see it. First in line for inlay is the Moonshine section of the ring. This is where the charred whiskey barrel wood goes. Insertion can be a little tricky at times, but patience gets you there. What I'm aiming for is to seat the largest piece as deep as possible, right at the base of the inlay channel. The deeper that piece sits, the more likely it is to stay anchored once everything is fully cured. Occasionally, a fragment will work its way out. That's normal, and we simply reset and carry on. You may notice that I tend to stick to a particular routine here. Between the sterling silver and the whiskey barrel wood are placed 2 or 3 pieces of opal. The reasoning is simple. By positioning the opal in that space, I give myself the best possible chance of actually catching its color in the final ring. The opal acts as a kind of bridge, and it also allows the wood to stand out more prominently once everything is set and polished back. With the first inlay now complete, I'll be sealing it with thin superglue. Be careful not to apply more than 4 drops. That's all you need. If the mandrel stops turning before the activator is applied, the thin superglue will pool at the lowest point and damage the inlay. Moving on to the second inlay channel, I place 4 pieces of railway crossing timber equally spaced around the ring, dividing it into 4 even quarter sections. In each of those wood sections, I then fill with green opal and gold leaf to fill the gaps and bring that signature color through. Feel free to change your cocktail stick whenever you sense it's starting to become tacky. The inlay pieces will bond to the stick itself rather than releasing cleanly into the channel, and that's when the process starts working against you. A fresh stick keeps everything under your control. With both channels now done, add 4 to 5 drops to seal everything into place. I spray the superglue activator. I now add the gold leaf. Adding the gold leaf is a very tricky process, trying to actually get it to remain visible at the end of the project. You have done well if you manage to do this. I overfilled the ring slightly here with the thin superglue. As you can see from the pooling on the bottom of the white paper, I was very lucky I was in the process of actually adding the green glow powder, because that soaked up the excess. Otherwise, I would have destroyed the ring and the inlay, as there was far too much glue. So even for those who have had much practice, accidents still happen. Please do be aware of this. I fill the ring with the glow powder, and once that is in, I add a thin layer of superglue all the way around to seal it, and then I use the activator spray. I repeat the process for 2 coats to make sure it sits above the level of the ring. And now we move on to the main lathe. I have removed my protective gloves at this point, because you do not want your gloves being caught in the lathe. This is done for safety. Now I start wet sanding back the excess material on the ring blank. This does take a while, but it is part of the process. Be aware that when sanding on the lathe, do not keep the sandpaper in one place, otherwise you will burn your fingers. This is also part of the learning process. The sandpaper should be kept wet throughout. I keep a bowl of water beside me and constantly re-dip the sandpaper to clean it off, because it clogs really easily. And in between each grit, make sure you clean the ring off before moving on. Please make sure you are wearing a mask and eye protection when working on the main lathe, because you do not want to be breathing in superglue dust. Every once in a while, stop and check to see how far you have gone with the sanding process. I am using a 120 grit here to remove the bulk of the excess glow powder. As you can see from this shot, I'm still not completely there, but patiently I work my way through. At all times during the making of this video, I have been wearing a chemical gas mask, and I do advise that you take all necessary safety precautions. These materials can cause you harm, so please do pay close attention to your health and safety. Now I'm getting to the point where the bulk of the excess material has been removed, and we are starting to see the actual inlay of the ring emerge. And now you can see the ring in all its glory. We have exposed it at last. I now add 2 final coats of thin superglue to fill in any micro holes in the ring's finish, using activator to seal both coats. Then wet sand from 220 grit up to 5000 grit. Before finishing with 3 grades of diamond paste polish. And the ring is complete. Thank you for joining us on this journey here at the Digital Tea Room.